take genuine well wishes and constructive critics. I presume that you and your beloved ones are hale and healthy. It's ideally earthling. Professor S. Suresh with absolute enticement back for my 50-second video in process for publication on YouTube today, 29th of July 2020. Topic for discussion today is most prominent global health issues. Informally, a global issue is any issue, problem or risk that adversely affects the global community and environment, possibly in a catastrophic way, including environmental issues, political crisis, social issues and economic crisis. Health is a state of physical, mental and social well-being in which disease and infirmity are absent. Public health is the absence and art of preventing disease, prolonging life and promoting physical health and mental health and efficiency through organized community efforts towards a sanitary environment, the control of community infections, the education of the individual in principles of personal hygiene, the organization of medical and nursing service for the early diagnosis and treatment of disease, and the development of the social machinery to ensure to every individual in the community a standard of living adequate for the maintenance of health. World Health Organization shortly WHO proposed a definition that aimed at linking health to well-being in terms of physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease and infirmity. WHO played a leading role when it fostered the development of the health promotion movement in the 1980s. In 1984, WHO revised the definition of health and defined it as the extent to which an individual or group is able to realize aspirations and satisfy needs and to change or cope with the environment. Health is a resource for everyday life, not the objective of living. It is a positive concept emphasizing social and personal resources as well as physical capacities. Thus, health refers to the ability to maintain homeostasis and recover from insults. Mental, intellectual, emotional and social health referred to as a person's ability to handle stress, to acquire skills, to maintain relationships, all of which form resources for resiliency and independent living. The government is often cited as an important factor influencing the health status of individuals. This includes characteristics of the natural environment, the built environment and the social environment. Factors such as clean water and air, adequate housing and safe communities and roads all have been found to contribute to good health, especially to the health of infants and children. Genetics or inherited traits from parents also plays a major role in determining the health status of individuals and populations. This can encompass both the predisposition to certain diseases and health conditions as well as the habits and behaviors individuals develop through the lifestyle of their families. A number of health issues are common around the globe. Disease is one of the most common. According to globalissues.org, approximately 36 million people die each year from non-communicable, not contagious disease, including cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and chronic lung disease. Among communicable diseases, both viral and bacterial, AIDS, HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria are the most common, causing millions of deaths every year. Another health issue that causes death or contributes to other health problems is malnutrition, especially among children. Stunted growth. One of the groups, malnutrition, affects mostly in the young children. Approximately 7.5 million children under the age of 5 die from malnutrition. These are old figures, usually brought on by not getting money to find or make food. Bodily injuries are also a common health issue worldwide. These injuries, including broken bones, fractures and burns, can reduce a person's quality of life or can cause fatalities, including infections that resulted from the injury or the severity of injury in general. Lifestyle choices are contributing factors to poor health in many cases. These include smoking cigarettes and can also include a poor diet, whether it is overeating or an overly constrictive diet. Inactivity can also contribute to health issues, sedentary lifestyles, and also a lack of sleep, excessive alcohol consumption and neglect of oral hygiene. There are also genetics. One has to brush the teeth at least twice every day. as soon as you get up in the morning and one time before you go to bed. So the bacteria do not develop. There are also genetic disorders that are inherited by the person and can vary in how much they affect the person and when they surface. Though the majority of these health issues are preventable, a major contributor to global ill health is the fact that approximately 1 billion people lack access to healthcare systems. It will be much more than that. Arguably, the most common and harmful health issues is that a great many people do not have access to quality remedies. Mental illness is described as a spectrum of cognitive, emotional, and behavioral conditions that interfere with the social and emotional well-being and the lives and productivity of people. Having a mental illness can seriously impact temporarily or permanently the mental functioning of a person. Other terms include mental health problem, illness, disorder, dysfunction. Roughly 1/5 of all adults 18 and over in the US are considered diagnosable with mental illness, psychos. 1 in 5, 20%. Mental illnesses are the leading cause of disability in the US and Canada. Examples include schizophrenia, ADHD, attention deficiency, hyperactivism, major depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and autism. Many factors contribute to mental health problems, including biological factors such as genes or brain chemistry, life experiences such as trauma or abuse, family history of mental health problems. An important way to maintain your personal health is to have a healthy diet. A healthy diet includes a variety of plant-based and animal-based foods that provide nutrients, essential nutrients to our body. Such nutrients give you energy and keep your body running. Nutrients help build and strengthen bones, muscles, and tendons, and also regulate body processes, that is blood pressure, etc. Water is essential for growth. Our body is made up of nearly 70% water. That factor is utilized for scanning and all that. Like even the world, nearly 2/3 of the world is covered by water. Most of it is non-edible. Water is essential for growth, reproduction, and good health. Macronutrients are consumed in relatively large quantities and include proteins, carbohydrates, and fats and fatty acids. One should eat a balanced food. All of us learned about the food pyramid and all that. It should be a combination, a mix of various ingredients. There should be some carbohydrate, protein, fats, fatty acids, fiber, etc. Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals are consumed in relatively smaller quantities but are essential to body process. The food guide pyramid is a pyramid-shaped guide of healthy foods divided into sections. That's what I mentioned. Each section shows the recommended intake for each food group. Protein, fat, carbohydrates, and sugars. Yeah, that is one thing I forgot to mention. Salt, limited intake of salt and sugar. Making healthy food choices is important because it can lower your risk of heart disease, developing some types of cancer, and it will contribute to maintaining a healthy weight. The Mediterranean diet is commonly associated with health promoting effects due to the fact that it contains some bioactive compounds like phenolic compounds, isoprenoids, and alkaloids. Physical exercise enhances or maintains physical fitness and overall health and wellness. It strengthens the muscles and improves the cardiovascular system. According to the National Institute of Health, there are 4 types of exercise: endurance, strength, flexibility, and balance. Sleep is an essential component to maintaining health. In children, sleep is also vital for growth and development. Ongoing sleep deprivation has been linked to an increased risk for some chronic health problems. In addition, sleep deprivation has been shown to correlate with both increased susceptibility to illness and slower recovery times from illness. In one study, people with chronic insufficient sleep, set as 6 hours of sleep a night or less, were found to be 4 times more likely to catch a cold compared to those who reported sleeping for 7 hours or more a night. There are limits. One should not sleep for too long also. Anything should be done in moderation. Due to the role of sleep in regulating metabolism, insufficient sleep may also play a role in weight gain or conversely in impeding weight loss. Short afternoon naps after lunch is really good for the body. Naps. Okay. In 2007, International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is a cancer research agency for the WHO, declared that shift work that involves circadian disruption is probably carcinogenic to humans. There is a biological clock in all of us. It is programmed so that we have to sleep during night time, be awake during the daytime. But people work on shift, it doesn't happen. Sometimes the shift is during night time, sometimes the shift is during daytime. So sleeping also, the circadian rhythm is getting affected adversely. So shift work that involves circadian disruption is probably carcinogenic to humans, cancer causing. Speaking of the dangers of long-term nighttime and work due to its intrusion on sleep, in 2015 the National Sleep Foundation released updated recommendations for sleep duration requirements based on age, gender, and concluded that individuals who habitually sleep outside the normal range may be exhibiting signs or symptoms of serious health problems, or if done volitionally, may be compromising their health and well-being. Health science is a branch of science focused on health. Organized interventions to improve health based on the principles and procedures developed through the health sciences are provided by practitioners trained in medicine, nursing, nutrition, pharmacy, social work, psychology, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and other healthcare professions. Clinical practitioners focus mainly on the health of individuals, while public health practitioners consider the overall health of communities and populations. There are nutrition consultants also to work out the diet for you. It's all commercial now. People may try to make money out of anything and everything. Workplace wellness programs are increasingly adopted by companies for the value in improving the health and well-being of their employees, as are school health services in order to improve the health and well-being of children. Public health has been described as a science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through the organized efforts and informed choices of society, organizations, public and private, communities, and individuals. It is concerned with the threats to the overall health of a community based on population health analysis. The focus of public health interventions is to prevent and manage diseases, injuries, and other health conditions through surveillance of cases and the promotion of healthy behavior, communities, and in aspects relevant to human health environments. Its aim is to prevent health problems from happening or reoccurring by implementing educational programs, developing policies, administering services, and conducting research. In many cases, treating a disease or controlling a pathogen can be vital to preventing it from in others, such as during an outbreak. Vaccination programs and distribution of condoms to prevent the spread of communicable diseases are examples of common preventive public health measures, as are educational campaigns to promote vaccination and the use of condoms, including overcoming resistance to such. Even now, virologists and epidemiologists all over the globe are working hard to come up with a highly cost-effective vaccine for COVID-19. Personal health depends partially on the active, passive, and assisted cues people observe and adapt about their own health. These include personal actions for preventing or minimizing the effects of a disease, usually a chronic condition, through integrative care. Nowadays they talk about holistic health, looking at it from all angles or 360 degrees. They also include personal hygiene practices to prevent infection and illness, such as bathing and washing hands with soap, brushing and flossing teeth, storing, preparing, and handling food safely, and many others. All of us are aware of the precautions to mitigate the community spread of pandemics like COVID-19 by washing our hands quite frequently, or using hand sanitizers, wearing masks, maintaining social distancing, wearing face shield, medical personnel wearing the gloves, PPE, etc., and footwear covers, etc. Personal health also depends partially on the social structure of a person's life. The maintenance of strong physical relationships, social relationships, volunteering, and other social activities have been linked to positive mental health and also increased longevity. Prolonged psychological stress may negatively impact health and has been cited as a factor in cognitive impairment with aging, depressive illness, and expression of disease. Stress management is the application of methods to either reduce stress or increase tolerance to stress. Relaxation techniques are physical methods used to relieve the stress. Psychological methods include cognitive therapy, meditation, and positive thinking, which work by reducing response to stress. Improving relevant skills such as problem solving and time management skills reduces uncertainty and builds confidence, which also reduces the reaction to stress, causing situations where those skills are applicable. In addition to safety risks, many jobs also present risks of disease, illness, and other long-term health problems. Among the most common occupational diseases are various forms of pneumoconiosis, causing pneumonia, including silicosis. Silicosis is a silica filling up the lungs. People working in sand quarries and granite quarries pick up this silicosis. And coal workers, pneumoconiosis, black lung disease, asthma is another respiratory illness that many others workers are vulnerable to. It is because of the pollens in the air, that is more during the winter season. Workers may also be vulnerable to skin diseases including eczema, dermatitis, urticaria, sunburn, and skin cancer. Other occupational diseases of concern include carpal tunnel syndrome and lead poisoning. As a number of service sector jobs, especially in IT field, has risen in developed countries, more and more jobs have become very sedentary. Once people sit in the seat, they don't feel like getting up forever. That is very bad for the eyes, for the body, everything. And they eat a lot of junk food also while they do that. And you know about the couch potatoes who watch a lot of TV. Presenting a different array of health problems than those associated with the manufacturing and the primary sector. Contemporary problems such as the growing rate of obesity and issues relating to stress and overwork in many countries have further complicated the interaction between work and health. The grand challenges in global health. Shortly, GCGH is a research initiative launched by Bill and Melinda Gates, Microsoft, Foundation in search of solutions to health problems in the developing world. 16 challenges are categorized in groups among 7 related goals, stated goals, plus an 8th group for family health. The disciplines involved include immunology, microbiology, genetics, molecular biology and cellular biology, entomology, agricultural sciences, clinical sciences, epidemiology, population and behavioral sciences, ecology, and evolutionary biology. The 16 challenges are: create effective single-dose vaccines that can be used soon after birth, prepare vaccines that do not require refrigeration, develop needle-free delivery systems for vaccines, devise reliable tests in model systems to evaluate live attenuated vaccines, solve how to design antigens for effective protective immunity, learn which immunological responses provide protective immunity, develop a genetic strategy to deplete or incapacitate a disease-transmitting insect population, develop a chemical strategy to deplete or incapacitate a disease-transmitting insect population, create a full range of optimal bioavailable nutrients in a single staple plant species, discover drugs and delivery systems that minimize the likelihood of drug-resistant microorganisms. I don't know how many of you know about superbugs. The body becomes resistant to antibiotics because people overuse the antibiotics. 11. Create therapies that can cure latent infection. create immunological methods that can cure latent infection, develop technologies that permit quantitative assessment of population health, develop technologies that allow assessment of individuals for multiple conditions or pathogens at point of care, discover new ways to achieve health growth, preventing preterm birth. These are the 16 challenges by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, grand challenges in global health. Okay. Diseases do not respect boundaries, it is only for the people. There is an ethical dimension to the health and well-being of other people. Health is closely linked with economic and social development in an increasingly interdependent world. The health and well-being of people everywhere have important implications for global security and freedom. The world has made enormous progress against some of the leading causes of premature death and disability. The number of children under 5 years of age who die each year has fallen substantially, but there are still more than 6 million child deaths every year. This is a whole figure. Despite substantial gains against diseases such as measles, almost 150,000 children still die of measles each year as well. Progress has also been made against disability causing infections such as polio, for which there are now fewer than 500 new cases a year, and it is hoped that eradication is in sight. The number of women dying a maternal death, that is during delivery, has also declined to below 300,000 per year, and the number of new HIV infections in the world each year is also falling. Lifestyle diseases are on the increase. It's not a gradual increase, it's a spiral increase, because our lifestyles has changed for the worse. Life expectancy at birth for the world as a whole is at its highest point ever, and as many have commented, never before have so many people lived so long. But it's not a healthy life, it's a filthy life. However, these gains still remain out of reach of the world's poor living in both industrialized and developing countries, and health inequalities must be addressed. The focus of a public health intervention is to prevent and mitigate diseases, injuries, and other health conditions through surveillance of cases and the promotion of healthy behaviors, communities, and environments. Many diseases are preventable through simple non-medical methods. I like to state some quotes, not my own. Health is wealth. Every patient carries her or his own doctor inside. This is by Albert Schweitzer. The doctor of the future will give no medicine but will interest his patients in the care of human frame, in diet, and in the cause and the prevention of disease. This is by Thomas Alva Edison. All of you know him. Of all forms of inequality, injustice in healthcare is the most shocking and inhuman. By Martin Luther King Jr. Be careful about reading health books, you may die of a misprint. This is by Mark Twain. So many of the so-called studies on health, they manipulate the data, so the companies gain. Later they change this thing, so-called inferences and all that. It's all false. Nowadays we see a lot of advertisements on the media and all that. Almost all products claim that it increases immunity against infections and pandemics and all that. Most of them are not facts. It's all tall claims, especially in countries like India, because consumer protection is very weak. What is the proof that it increases your immunity and it acts as a shield against infections and all that? Tall claims, false claims. Okay, some of the statements you express are solely mine, based on limited knowledge gained over 6 decades. Debates, discussion on topics like this can go on forever. Anyhow, let me call it a day. We'll meet again real soon. Rest in peace and harmony. Always watch these videos with the closed captions, subtitles for absolute 100% comprehension, as my sincere recommendation zillion times so far. I know I rushed through to complete the presentation within 20 minutes maximum. Yeah, one thing I want to say, even WHO, World Health Organization, has said no sanitizer can deactivate the COVID-19 virus. Okay, this is by WHO, not my own statement. But in spite of that, so many sanitizers are sold in the market, saying that it offers 99.99% protection against COVID-19 and all that. This is the time limit I had set myself to retain the viewer's attention as a norm. I know nowadays I exceed this time limit since I make honest attempts to cover the selected topic more elaborately, including so many intricate fine details referring a wide variety of sources, in particular Wikipedia, quite extensively, besides articles and books published recently. In addition, I add my own salt and pepper and masala based on my personal experiences so far in my life and also intuition. Stay at home as much as possible to maintain social distancing attributed to pandemic novel COVID-19 and prolong your lifespan. Lead a healthy life. God alone can put a stop to natural and unnatural events, maybe bio-war and cyber war like pandemics, which may lead to apocalypse, end of the world, an extinction of all sentient species of earth on earth for no fault of theirs. All the best. Peace.